This year in the Premier League has been incredible. It truly has been absolutely astonishing and just a sensational season across the board. What I want to talk about right now is the manager of the season. We are currently in the last quarter of the season. Arsenal have 8 games left. City have 9. The title is exciting because between those two, unexpectedly, to be perfectly honest, most people thought it would be Man City and Liverpool yet again. Relegation battle is crazy. I mean, we've got anywhere from Crystal Palace in 12th all the way down to, I think Southampton is in 20th currently. I mean, any one of those teams can be relegated. It's kind of an astonishing 8-team relegation battle right now, which is awesome. But for me, I want to talk about the manager of the season. I mean, let's put it this way. As we all know, teams that win the title typically are given all the accolades during the season, whether that is, or at the end of the season, whether that is team of the season, manager of the season, player of the season, all those things, all the awards. So, with that caveat, I would say that if Arteta and Arsenal win the Premier League, which is a distinct possibility, if they win out, they win. Arteta will be given manager of the season, period. And I think to a degree will deserve it. I mean, I think most people expected Arsenal to be fighting for a top 4 spot this year, not fighting for the title, but they've been the most consistent team in the Premier League, hands down. I mean, Man City, everybody expected, especially with the signing of Erling Haaland, would run away with the title, but they've been inconsistent this year. And I think part of that is due to the fact that they are trying to essentially work Erling Haaland into this scheme. I mean, he's got 30 goals in 29 games. So, I mean, he's not struggling by any stretch of the imagination, but Man City's dominant system is struggling, and that is why their consistency has not been at the level that, let's say, Arsenal has. Arsenal have been in a continuous push to work on this incredible project that Mikel Arteta has put in place, and he has a phenomenal group of players. I mean, I am incredibly impressed with where they are this season. I also expected them to be fighting for the top 4, but they are literally in the title hunt. They are 6 points ahead of Man City right now. Granted, Man City have a game in hand, and they play Arsenal play Man City later in the month on the 26th of April, which, in my opinion, is literally the title decider. Like, that will decide where the title goes. But that said, we talk about manager of the season. I think Arteta has a very good shout, hands down. Easily has a great shout in, especially if they win the title. Even if they don't, still has a good look in to be manager of the season. My personal manager of the season, I have 2 that I think fully deserve to be there. Eddie Howe from Newcastle and Thomas Frank from Brentford. I think a lot of people expected Brentford, having come up, from the championship last season, to, as many teams do, struggle. I think many people actually predicted them to be part of the 3 teams in the relegation scrap, but they are nowhere near. They're currently, I believe, in 7th place in the Premier League, have had some huge scalps this season, beat Manchester United, beat Manchester City, have had many games where, of the top 6, where they have fought tooth and nail. And to be perfectly honest, they are, punching above their belt. I mean, they really are. And I think Thomas Frank deserves a ton of credit. I think that they truly are a team that are kind of fun to watch. I mean, I actually really enjoy them as a team. They're scrappy, they're frustrating, they're irritating, but they also have a goal in them, which I like to see. So I'm happy with Thomas Frank. I think he has very much a shout out to be the manager of the season, based on the fact that their squad is, I mean, if you look at their squad compared to, let's just say, Arsenal or Manchester City or Liverpool, whatever, like, in terms of the amount that it is taking to put those squads together, Brentford are like little dwarfs in this, forest of giants. So for me, I have a lot of respect for Thomas Frank and what he has done with Brentford. That said, Eddie Howe, I don't really know what to say. I mean, a lot of people, I think, were shocked when Eddie Howe was given the reins of Newcastle, especially after the Saudi takeover of the Newcastle United. I think they were obviously expecting some huge name. You bring in, the Saudi royal family, basically, Mohammed bin Salam, and basically they become the world's richest club overnight, and everybody expected there to be some huge name coming in as manager, but they brought in Eddie Howe, who I think actually was a very astute signing by them, has experience, has brought Bournemouth up through the divisions, was I think, a very inspiring character for a lot of players on that team, and that he's actually made quite a few of the players on their team better. They've also had some very, very smart, astute signings. I personally love Bruno, one of my all-time favorite players in the league right now. He's just phenomenal. But they've been smart in the recruitment, and he's been very good in building that team to a formidable team. I mean, they truly are. Again, also punching above their weight. Currently in third in the Premier League, or excuse me, I believe fourth. Manchester United just swapped in and took third the other day, but they're literally in the top four. They'll be potentially playing Champions League next year, and because of that alone, I believe Eddie Howe has every right to feel as if he deserves to be manager of the season. So, again, for me, it's not a Pep Guardiola. It's surely not Jurgen Klopp this year, with Liverpool down in eighth, I believe, or ninth even. Currently, I think they're in eighth. But for me, hands down, Arteta, Thomas Frank, Eddie Howe. Those are your top three managers of the season contenders, in my opinion. I personally think if it was fair, and people looked at the breadth of what the manager has done over the season based on their squad, to me, it's Thomas Frank. But this is just my opinion. So we'll see how it is at the end of the season. And honestly, I'm super excited for the end of the year. The title run-in, the relegation battle. I mean, obviously the Champions League is important, but in terms of the Premier League, I'm so excited about both those things. So we'll see how it all plays out, and we'll see who becomes manager of the season.